much for tuning in, and this is day 29, and we are going to read the chapter 12. It's been only one day left to finish the 30-day reading challenge, and thank you so much for reading with me, whoever is reading with me. And yeah, let me just check whether this video is live on Facebook and YouTube or not. So from wherever you are tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. So let's just get started with today's reading, and I'm quite excited that I have completed 29 days without any break in between, because 30-day reading challenge was should be like that. There should be no break in betweens, because consistency is really important whenever we are making any habit. So yeah, and with that thing, let's get started, and I hope that I should play some music as well. So yeah, I hope you are doing well. So thank you so much for tuning in again, and let's just read. Okay, so the chapter 12 name is Split Happens. What kind of split? I don't know. Oh, let me just check how many pages I need to read, because that's a ritual that I made just for the sake of this live video streaming, because this gives me an understanding that I should not say something that is not really important sometime. So yeah, okay, it's 183 to 208, right? So I need to read almost 25 pages, I guess. Yeah, right. So 25 pages. Yesterday we read 22 pages, I guess. Okay. I think I should get the pencil because I need to mark some stuff, so if it is required, right? So let me just grab that first. I actually forgot to have, take all this thing. I think this happens. Here I'm gonna read something. I think people who are really thinking that why some small businesses or some startups fail. So let me just read this. The reason so many small businesses fail, however, is because passion alone can't cut it. Right? For passion to survive, it needs structure. A why without the house, passion without structure has a very high probability of failure. So a lot of small companies who are so much passionate about something to change the world, they are early adopters, they are doing something new, and people who join them has also are also crazy about themselves actually. That defines that okay, we can work in a company which has the failure chance of this. Statistically, failure chance is so much higher. It's talk much about them rather than the company. But the thing is that the reason that they actually fail sometimes is because they have a clear sense of why, maybe, but the people around them, they don't have those people who can give structure to it, who they don't know that how to make their why in life. That's a simple thing. That's why most of the businesses actually, small businesses actually fail, uh, because a why without the house, passion without structure, because they have lots of passion, because that's why they have started the business, right? So but if they don't have any structure, so this is going to fail, obviously, right? So a lot of companies there who start with a clear sense of why, but after they start growing, the split happens. So split happens, when the split happens is actually when they focus more on what instead of the why, right? So this is the number of dollar that they are earning, so why is going good. But after some point, they actually the why is actually go to this plateau, and what is actually prioritized more than the why, right? Yeah. he talked about a very nice thing called the school bus test. The school bus test is very simple test. It's a metaphor actually. So think about it like this: if the founder of the uh, company, if the founder or the leader of the company is hit by a school bus and die, what how the organization will actually run. So this metaphor actually lets you think that what this organization actually means. And he says that to actually to if you want that organization to keep inspiring people and beyond the lifetime of its founder, so you need to your why must be extracted and integrated into the culture, right? So it's like whatever you do, why you do that, you need to put it into the culture of this organization. So when you do that, you don't need any leader or culture to you don't need any leader to actually move the people around, right? They are already inspired by the culture itself. So it's a really nice metaphor which actually defines that if if the leader of the organization or the founder of the organization is dead by the school bus, right, still the organization is going to run and flourish, and they don't need actually any leader or founder to actually move them up, right? So it's really important. And I think mhm. So uh, but when I actually purchased my new phone, it was a small phone with some GSM that we can use 2G internet. So I quite remember those days, and I was exploring the world of the internet through that mobile at that time. So and I used to go to the Google, and I actually previously had an email ID of Gmail, but I found some email IDs like AOL, hotmail.com. So what I used to do is, like, I used to go to every email provider and I used to make email ID on each and every provider. And there was one provider called the AOL.com. I hope you have heard about it. And AOL actually stands for America Online. So I made an email ID on there as well. So I really don't remember what was the ID, but yeah, I did made one. And so here he's talking about that AOL, which is America Online. He says that at some point of time, America having a AOL.com ID was like a pride, because it was all about the people, right? People used to feel that okay, they belong to certain community, and they feel that okay, they are carrying some status symbol if they are having these AOL email address. They are part of a movement of internet, right? Because internet was very new at that point of time, and AOL was charging a very small fee. Previously it was like a weekly something, but they changed the fee to for monthly. And after that their server were like down, because a lot of people actually joined. He says that it was not really a bad thing, because their purpose was to keep the America online for the most of the time, and they used to work hard to get the server back up again. But it was good. But more the time goes, and the people started joining AOL. Their purpose of sense of why was gone. And now if you look at AOL, he says that if someone tell you what's your email ID, and they said that something at the rate of AOL.com, you are going to feel okay, which planet from this, from which planet did this guy come from, AOL.com. So he says that now AOL.com is not really a status symbol or nothing. People really don't care about it, because their sense of why is fuzzy, and a lot of other companies actually take over after that, right? So it's really important that whatever you do, your sense of why needs to be very clear. So, and he says that all the companies actually went through this shift, because when people start a new company, they are so much inspired to do anything for that company to make it work better, right? They are inspired already, and their people who work with them in the organizations are also so much inspired. But as the time goes on, there's most of the companies, why starts to get fuzzy. They forget why they actually started in the first place, right? And it reflects on the internally as well as outside as well. People can really feel that. So yeah, so it's really important that they get back to their why. And he gave a very nice example. Companies like Walmart, Microsoft, Starbucks, The Gap, Dell, and so many others that used to be special have all gone through a split, right? So if they cannot recapture their why and re-inspire those inside and outside their organization, every one of them will end up looking more like AOL and than the companies they were. He said it's a sad reality that all the great companies that still exist today, they are making revenues, but if they don't make their why clear, they are in the near future they will look like a company like AOL, like this America Online that he is given the example for, because their sense of why will be fuzzy, and people won't care much about this company, like even if it exists or not, right? So yeah, let's see. I think it's a very important thing to understand that self-help books always re-emphasize this fact, that always use this stories to emphasize the fact that you need to focus on this, right? So it's really important. So don't think it's a repetitive thing. It is actually training your brain or your neural system to make you feel or understand that okay, this thing is really important. And I think it's not manipulation. I don't think it's bad. It's really important as because even if I hope you remember that you watch motivational videos on YouTube or maybe some other books reviews or anything like that. How many of you guys actually take action by watching this? Maybe you do it for 1 day, 2 days, but it suddenly fades away. So it's really important that you read book which basically keeps telling you the same thing with different stories, because it really trains your mind. And I think not only read the book only once, read the book multiple times. It's not really that, okay, if you really like a book, that and after reading this book maybe you have changed something in your life. One thing I highly recommend that you read that book again after 6 month or 3 month period, that maybe, and I'm sure that you're going to learn something new, because every time I read a book for the second time or the third time, I have learned something new, and it feels like a new book to me, because I was like, okay, how can I miss this point? Why didn't I underline this previously when I read? So this kind of things happens. So it's really important that you read the book, especially for the self-help books, not for the fiction, because in fictions it's like movies. You can't really watch a movie second time. You're not going to feel that thrill, right? Maybe you can read a fiction like 5 or 10 years down the line, but not really 2-3 months up later, right? Yes, let me just read today. Okay, here he talk about a nice story about Herbridge. So Christina Herbridge, her name was. So she found a part-time job in a company. So when she was in college, so the job was for the of was the was she was of a collector. So she used to collect debt by calling people. So I hope you have heard people that say that when you know take any loan or anything like that, there is a they actually bank actually hire companies which is these are third party companies. They are not people from the bank. That is one. And the second thing is not that they don't care about the bank, they care about the only getting the money out of you. So people who can get the money out of you are actually incentivized and bonused. So they have given bonus if you can take money from someone. So suppose you are someone who take a loan and could not pay it on time. So somebody is going to call you from the bank, and after that you are going to start getting calls from sometime you get some threat calls as well. So these are the company which is third party companies connected with the bank. They actually call you. They are the debt collectors. So they are incentivized based on this, that the more you can collect from the people, the more you are incentivized. So they actually threat people. They actually try to take the money out in any means, right? And when Herbridge actually joined that company, she was doing the same. She said okay, she when she joined the company, she felt that okay, if I really need to take the company, I have to be like other. So whatever others were doing, she was doing that doing that as well. But the more she worked, she understood that it does not align with her why, because she didn't used to talk to people like that, and she thought that there is always a better way. So in 1993, Herbridge actually moved to San Francisco and started her own collection firms. and and Herbridge actually used to think that if we are nice to people, people are going to pay more, right? So instead of just giving threats and saying that okay, you need to give the money, and you need to be nice to the people. That's what Herbridge actually used to think. And people used to like, are you crazy? You're not going to get money out of people by by being nice, right? But still it was something Herbridge wanted to do, and it was aligned with her why as well. So in the 1993, she started her own collection firm called the Bridgeport Financial. And when she started her company, there was two problems. One was like finding the best fit for the company who actually believes what she believes, because she believes that we need to talk to the people in a nice manner, and and get the actual story out of the people, get the truth out of the people, that why they are unable to pay and what they can do for them to actually make the process easier, right? They need to get the truth out of the people, because whenever loan collectors actually, or debt collectors actually call people, they don't say the right thing, because maybe they are going through some financial crisis. Maybe someone in the family has some problem as well. Maybe they have spent money somewhere else, but they just don't tell you the truth. So that's why it was Herbridge's job was like to get the truth out of the people, that why they are unable to pay. So that was first. And second was to like find the right people for the Bridgeport Financial. That was her company. So but eventually she built her company over the time. But the way she incentivized people was like, she used to give bonus as well, but it was different. It was like not like that how much money you have collected from the client. It was all about that how many clients send you a thank you card. So see, it's getting a thank you card is very tough. When someone is calling you to ask for money, and you are giving, and you are also sending a thank you card to the people who is asking for the money, right? It is very tough, right? It's very tough. So you need to be super nice to people, and also get the truth out of the people, and also get the thank you card, right? So her why was clear, and she found people who was best fit for her company, and she has collected 300% more than the industry average. Right? So 300% more. it's not three, it's not a simple number. 300% more is like so much, right? So that's amazing. 300% is like 3x, right? So yeah, I guess it is. So so here is the thing, in the most of the companies actually in today measure they don't have a clear metrics to just to see that whatever they are doing, why they are doing, they don't use the right metrics to do that. So suppose in the case of her bridge, if she used to measure her success or measure her actual if metrics was for her just to how much money you are collecting from the people, that should not that will not align with her why. It was all about that how many people were happy working with the Bridgeport Financial. So that was she focused on, and company did not really focus that much on this, and it's really important that they do, right? So owner has a construction company, and he used to there was a timer like thing, so people used to clock in. So the time was like 8 to 8:30, and they need to get out in 5 to 5:30. They need to log out from the system. So if you don't do this in time, you're not going to be on the bonus pool. So people had this really restricted time, so there was more productivity in the company. So he measured this thing in a differently, he said. So so Simon Sinek gave a really nice analogy here. Productivity is high and turnover is low. Consider how much you get done the day before you go on vacation, right? So when we go into the vacation, people really go into the vacation, they like adjusting a lot of things before that. So you can do a lot of things in a very small amount of time as well if you have this kind of deadline, right? So now imagine every day is like that. That's what Dwayne Honor figured out how to do, because he figured out how to measure a value he holds dear. The value is embraced. So productivity was more important for the owner, so he measured it this way. So he said that if you don't get out of the office in 5 to 5:30, you are not going to be in the bonus pool. So people really used to think that okay, I have only 5:30, I need to complete this task. So there was no time wasted, because in companies sometimes what really happens is like if they have given so many times, they have no time limit first. They waste a lot of time talking with others and spending time on their mobile phones. Maybe it feels good, but it does not make any sense. It does not work for the company or for the employees as well, because they are just wasting time that they could have spent on some other things, other activities, or maybe with their families or with some personal work of theirs. But they just waste this time, and that's the thing, because productivity was really important for him. So that's why he created like you need to get out of the office from 5 to 5:30, and otherwise you're out of the bonus pool. You're not going to get any bonus. Right? So yeah, it's all about that. How do you measure thing, and what is the metrics for you? So yeah, well, I'm gonna read this line because I have underlined it and I think it's right. Money is a perfectly legitimate measurement of goods sold or services rendered, but it is no calculation of value. Just because somebody makes a lot of money does not mean that he necessarily provides a lot of value. Likewise, just because somebody makes a little money does not necessarily mean he provides a little value. Simply by measuring the number of goods sold or the money brought in is no indication of value. Value is a feeling, not a calculation. It is a perception. One could argue that a product with more bells and whistles that sells for less is the greater value, but whose standard? Right, he's talking about like if someone is selling a product in a lower price, it's not like that it's giving you a less value. And if someone is selling a, you know, if someone is earning a lot of money, it does not mean that he's giving a lot of value to the world, right? So that happens. And because it says the value is a feeling, not a calculation, right? So it's all about that, how it's, you can't really say that, okay, now suppose I buy a MacBook and an iPhone. So it's all about that, what I feel about this, about its value, right? It's not that, okay, it's not integrated with my lifestyle. And I can say all rational things like, okay, I have spent a lot of money, but what it is doing, it is just lying there, or maybe I am just watching some movies. It's not like that. Value is all about the feelings, that okay, I belong to the, you know, Apple category, right? So I belong to that tribe. So this is all about, value is all about the feeling, right? The product is obviously good, product is doing something for us, but at the end of the day, we actually decide its value. Okay. So his uncle, Simon Sinek's uncle, was used to made rackets. So his rackets were used to make, you know, used to made in the same manufacturing company, same box they used to provide. And all the other brands used to get their rackets from that same manufacturer, with their brand or logo on it. And when their rackets actually used to come to the market, his uncle's rackets used to sold in very less price, and it's obvious because it was no brand. So he says that people used to pay more just for that premium feeling, that okay, I am holding a branded racket. Yeah, this might happen to you as well. This happened to me as well. A lot of the product that we use, we always have the alternative, and those products are not their logo embedded on it, and we don't feel, okay, this is not a brand, why should I go for this? This is not a branded device, why should I purchase this, right? So this kind of things happens with us as well. So he says that that's why a lot of companies, you know, stress so much on the making a brand itself, because that really works in the long time. And if you can, you know, align your why with your brand, people are going to be crazy about you, people are going to be a cult follower of yours, right? So it's really important that you have a clear sense of why. Again, same thing with a new different story, right? See, when people can point to a company and clearly articulate what the company believes and use words unrelated to price, quality, service, and features, that is the proof the company has successfully navigated the split. When people describe the value they perceive with visceral, excited words like love, that is a sure sign that a clear sense of why exists. He says that if you're defining a company, you know, without any rational things like price, quality, service, features, you're just saying, okay, if someone asks you why did you purchase that iPhone, you're saying that I just love that phone, I just love holding this phone, I just love the feeling of this, taking this phone on my hand, I just love the logo of this phone, how it is embedded on my phone, it looks really good on my hand, it looks good in my Instagram pictures. If you're giving all these things, then the company successfully articulate their why, right? Because it is a symbol. It is not only about the company, it's all about the customer, what they feel about themselves. So it's really important that that the company has navigated through their split is like that same thing that we have talked about. When a company actually forget about their why, that's when the split happens. So they have navigated their split, their why is still clear, and people are really crazy about their product as well. So they're not giving rational things like, because see, if someone asks me that why did you purchase your laptop, I will be saying that it has this much RAM, it has this LCD screen, and some full HD display, a lot of features I'm going to put them. I'm not going to say because I just love this brand. I'm not going to say this kind of thing because it feels premium. I'm not going to say it is premium, but I'm not going to say it feels premium, because I did not purchase this with the love or affection to the company. I have purchased this just for the sake of having a laptop, right? So, and it's really important that companies actually do this. People actually I think in the space of computers only Apple is able to do that. So yeah, a lot of people who actually love Apple products, they are not going to say things, okay, because it has 8 GB RAM and 25% more battery, that's why I use this product. They're not going to say this. They're going to say that I just love this product, I'm not going to go anywhere else. Apple is the only one thing for me. So this is really important to have a clear sense of why, right? So before I read, keep reading. There are a lot of stories that came up. The first story was of the Apple CEO Steve Jobs. So it was all about that how he actually made Apple what it was. So when he was in the company, he was replaced by the Sully. I think he is called Scully. His name was Scully. So he take over the Apple and he run the company for 3 years. But after that, the Apple's why was getting fuzzy and people were really seeing that. And after that, Steve Jobs joined again because his why was clear, and people have suggested him to let people clone Mac so that people can clone Mac and make like what happens with the Windows, right? But he did not do it because it was not aligning with her with his why. So it was really totally going out of his why. So see, when you are in a company, Microsoft is like taking over like 95% of the market share, and they are letting people clone their product, right? You might be tempted to actually let people clone your product too. Like Mac could have let other companies clone their products too, like, right? Now if they would have done it, the story would have been totally different. The Apple wouldn't be like Apple today. So whatever the company is currently now, uh, and Steve Jobs did not allow this, so it was really good. See, that one decision actually made like a history, right? So yeah. And when the Bill Gates was also leaving the Microsoft, he said three words: "I will be back." So I will back. So the reason is that he knew that at some point of time the company is going to lose its why, and he needs to come back to keep it aligned with the why of the company. And yeah, that's why he said that. And also with the Dell, Michael Dell, when he stepped out as a CEO, stepped down as a CEO, so from the Dell Corp, the company's service and service started to weaken, and they lost their why. And also their employees used to show false report to meet some target that okay, we are actually hitting the target, but it was not the case. And it was really a toxic culture to do this kind of thing, right? It puts it like putting undue pressure on the managers and everyone. So yeah, and so it was going about the Dell, and HP then surpasses the Dell at that time. And yeah, so these are all the examples which basically shows that what really happens when you forgot your why, when that split actually happens, right? Maybe you have started with some great why, the reason that is parallel, whatever you're doing, 100% that why you are doing, but after a certain point of time you actually lose your why, right? So yeah. So when Starbucks actually started, they used to give this expensive cutlery so people can have, but it was really expensive, and they switched to the paper cups. So it cut down the cost, but it was like saying people, okay, now we are done your job, now get out of the, now take your coffee and get the hell out of here, right? So it was just like that, because people lost the trust because they were getting these paper cups. So and but thankfully, that he says that Cult was there because he knew why he was doing it. But in the 2000 he left, but after that, after 8 years, the company actually started plummeting. A lot of things happened because their why was getting fuzzy. Then he placed Donald. There was a guy called Donald, and he put him as a CEO and appointed him, and he actually describes his why Starbucks actually existed in the first place, so that he can better steer the people, right? And here is a nice thing he said when Skult, the CEO of Starbucks, left the company at 2000. Simon Sinek says that he did not embodied his why to the organization or the culture, so that the organization can run without him. So it's really important that you integrate your why you are doing it with the organization or the culture, so that even if you don't even if you're not here or not there, the company runs without any problem, and people are still inspired because they are working for a higher cause, not only for the company itself, they are working for themselves, right? So it's really important that you embody that why or belief, or your belief to the structure or the of the organization, right? Yeah. Here I'm going to read something. um, if you're thinking that a second CEO or third CEO is going to solve a problem or make the company successful, it's not like that. I'm going to read this. Great second or third CEOs don't take the helm of implement their own vision or of the future. they pick up the original banner and lead the company into the next generation. That's why we call it succession, not replacement. There is a continuity of vision. So whatever the vision was, they actually take that banner and keep progressing towards the future, right? So it's really important that you think about it like a successor, not a replacement, right? So John Geller, who was the CEO of the founder and CEO of the Southwest Airlines, when he was started finding new CEO. So with the people he should work with, he found the Putnam. So Putnam, when he met Putnam, he had this hole in his shoe. He's like, okay, that guy is having the hole. And when he was asked after, because they were talking a lot with each other, and Kelleher said that let's go to the Starbucks to grab a coffee, but Putnam said that no, I'm not going to pay $5 just for a coffee. And what the heck is cappuccino anyways? So then the Kelleher realized that okay, this is the guy who is everyman. He's that Dunkin' Donut guy we need for the Southwest Airlines, who understand normal people, who understand the people of mind of the people. Because he himself is like that, right? So he's the perfect fit for that company. He's not like some premium guy. Okay, let's have some coffee at the Starbucks or something like that, because these are the people. It's not going to understand other people who can spend less in the airlines, right? So it was the great fit for the Southwest Airlines, right? Okay. Here is a very nice thing that is for us as a consumer to understand whatever the company is doing actually aligns with their why or not. If we can't easily assess a company's why simply from looking at their products, services, marketing, and public statements, then odds are high that they don't know what it is either. If they did, so would we. So if we look at some company's products, marketing strategies or service, and we don't get what they're doing, what the heck they're doing, and what is all these different kind of things, if we don't get it, and chances are that they are not also getting it. So they don't know what it is either, right? because if they would have understand, we would have understand as well, right? Because it's a simple thing. If they what they understand, if something that they understand clearly, they can make us understand clearly as well, right? And if we have this fuzzy sense of, okay, what are they doing with different kind of services and with this different kind of products that they are putting out, right? If we don't get it, chances that they are not also getting it. Here is a nice title of this headline, I would say. When the why goes, what is all we will have left? Because when there is no why left, you don't know why you are doing it. The only thing that is left is what. Okay, whatever you are doing, you're just saying to the people, right? Walmart was a people's guy because he used to believe that whatever, if we value people, if we value our employees or the people are going to value us. Our employees are going to value us. So Walmart actually, used to go to the store at Saturdays as well. People, because people used to work their weekend shift. And he did not wanted to make them feel that you guys are alone. I am also coming there, right? So Walmart used to go there, just to accompany them, just to give company, right? And he used to remember the birthdays and anniversaries of the cashier's mother as well. So whoever the cashier of the Walmart was, he used to remember the mother's birthday as well. So if so and he also remembered that cashier's mother had this gold bladder. So he like was a people's guy. So he was like this everyman. So because he used to believe that if you value people, people are going to value, and they were going to give their best, right? So Costco is a company started by Jim Sinegal, and when he started, he had this one thing in mind that the company is going to be the people's company, and he had this thing in mind that we are going to value people no matter what. So he used to give more 40% more than the other, the whatever the Walmart was giving to their employees, and 90% of their employees had medical insurance, which was covered by the Costco, the company. So a lot of people used to criticize Costco for doing that, and some shareholders says that he care more about the people. The Costco should be a people's company, rather than more than the shareholders, right? So he is like, Costco continues to be a company that is better at serving the club member and employee than the shareholder. So Costco is better in that. And in the interview, the Senegal said that he continues to do what he wants to do, and it was actually used to resonate the Walmart himself, Sam Walton. So Sam Walton has the same attitude, but Walmart was earning more because they were cutting cost from their people, right? And excuse me, guys. And that's the reason. And also after Walmart, after the Sam Walton died, Walmart actually started losing its why. But after that, Walmart did a lot of good things as well for the environment, but people really waved this off, saying that okay, this is just a poster, and they're just showing off, right? But when Costco did the same thing, people really believed, because people believed in their why, right? Because people trust the company. Costco is a company which came so many years later after the Walmart actually started, right? But still people believed Costco more than anything, compared to Walmart, right? So I'm going to read this line from this book, which says, when people know why you do what you do, they're willing to give you credit for everything that could serve as proof of why. When they are unclear about your why, what you do has no context. Even though the things you do or decisions you make may be good, they won't make sense to others without a clear understanding of why. So if people are going to be with you if you have a clear understanding of why, because that's when the trust actually comes. Because when you see a company is saying something and doing the same exact thing that they're believing, you're going to trust on that company. You're going to say, okay, this company is good, okay, and people are going to be with you, right? So yeah. So three CEOs actually changed after Sam Walton died, and a lot of the more CEOs joined, their sense of why actually started to get demo. Then the new CEO that joined was like Duke in 2009, and he takes salary of 5.43 million. Yeah, that's what it is. He's overpaid CEO, right? Anyway, so with that we are done with the day 29 and the chapter. What was the chapter? I forgot. The chapter 29, chapter 12. So it was day 29, chapter 12. We have completed the Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're reading with me, I am really I'm really grateful that you're doing this. And these are all the social handles that you see right now on the screen. I really hope that you go ahead and follow me on subscribe my channel on YouTube, where I post this live stream and also new videos that comes up. And also I post a lot of things every day on Instagram, stories, videos, reels and everything. That some exciting reels I post recently, and in the Twitter I post my favorite quotes. You can follow me there as well. And in the Facebook I dump everything. I just whatever I put on any social media platforms I dump in this Facebook, because this Facebook is for the dumping. And if you really like some like everything, you can just like my page on Facebook. Yeah, with that let's end today's video, and